Before we jump in, let's be real. This podcast contains jokes, laughter, and a whole lot of real talk. Yes, we cover serious crimes. Yes, we add a little humor, but never, and I mean never, at the expense of the victims or their families. If you're sensitive, easily offended, or the type to clutch your pearls every time someone laughs during a true crime story, this may not be the podcast for you. But if you like your true crime with a little bit of spice, a lot of honesty, and just enough petty to keep it fun, welcome to Melanin Mysteries, baby. Let's get into it. All right, y'all. Y'all know what time it is. And if it's your first time here, you picked the perfect mess to start with. Today, we're talking about Kimethia Coleman. And let me tell you, we gonna drag her like a busted lace front in a hurricane. This is the woman who took crazy in love straight to certifiable territory, and we're about to turn her every which way but loose. See, Kimethia, she wasn't just toxic. She was the whole biohazard. And if you've been rocking with us, you already know dating in these streets ain't for the weak, especially when there's folks like Kimethia lurking around with more red flags than a clearance sale at Target. And let me say a lot for the people in the back. He was a good man, Savannah. But instead of recognizing God's blessing, sis went full Lifetime movie villain. So I'm gonna need you to grab your drinks, get comfortable, and prepare yourselves because by the end of this episode, we'll have prayed, laughed, and read Kimethia for absolute filth. So let's get into it. I'm your host, Tiffany.
And I'm your co-host, Willie. Here we go.
Kimethia Coleman. But we're gonna call her Kim because I'm not about to listen to Willie butcher and struggle over her name the whole episode. And that's what everybody called her anyway.
Oh, I appreciate that.
You're welcome, best
Because you
friend.
know, you know, them is too many consonants in there for me.
She was born May 27th, 1985 in Minden, Louisiana. Her mother was Gail Coleman, but I didn't even find information on her father, so we're just going to assume he's a deadbeat. And Kim, she was a good kid growing up. She focused on her schoolwork, but she was good at balancing. She was in the in crowd, Miss Popular, homecoming and prom queen of her graduating class. She went to college and she wanted to study to be a social worker, and that's exactly what she did. She graduated from Grambling State University. And then in 2008, she goes on with one of her homegoers to a house party and she meets the absolute love of her life. She like, yep, that's him. That's gonna be my husband, y'all. And that man was Brian Spinks.
Brian Dennis Spinks was born December 15th, 1980. You know that we the 80 babies. We look good, don't we, girl?
Some of y'all.
The ones that wasn't affected by the crack epidemic. His father was Rydell Spinks. He came from a long line of military men dating back to his great granddad. So his great granddad was in the army. His granddad fought in World War II, and his father was in the Marine Corps, right? So I found a brother named Jared. He was born in St. Louis, and at some point the family ended up in Huntsville, Alabama. They were a military family, so I'm sure they moved around a bit. Cuzzo is a military brat. Our listener, man, why I can't think of her name right now. That's the one who got the
Yvette?
bag toys. After Brian graduated from,
Her daughter's in the military.
no, she said she was a military brat too. She live in New
Oh.
York. Yeah, she
Oh,
said
I
she was
thought I
military
thought
too.
she just said that her daughter was just in the military. Okay, I
No,
must have
no, her military.
misunderstood.
Yeah, shout
Shout out
out.
to our girl Kristen.
Yes, Christian, my bad. I forgot your name. You know I love you. Anyway, after Brian graduated from Butler High School, he decided to go to the military also, like the men he looked up to. So he enlisted in the U.S. Air Force, and that was in 1999. And he did 2 tours of duty in Iraq. That's when he met Kim. And when he met her, he was an E5, a sergeant in the Air Force. He had 2 children. I believe there were 2 daughters.
So Brian and Kimethia, they crossed paths, and whoo, Sparks was just flying like it was the 4th of July. It's giving butterflies, late night phone calls, and all that sweet talk that makes you think you found your forever. And from the outside looking in, it seemed like they were the perfect match. 2 people who couldn't get enough of each other. But you know how it goes. Sometimes those sparks are just the first time of fire you can't control. And let me tell you right now, this little love story, it was doomed to burn out faster than cheap candle in a windstorm.
Mm, ain't nothing like a cheap candle in a windstorm. You and your analogies are hilarious. So check this out. It's January 17th, 2010. We are in Shreveport, Louisiana, right?
Shreveport, sir.
Yeah, whatever, man.
Shreveport.
It's Louisiana. Look, it ain't New Orleans, so it's whatever I say it is. So it's late night or early morning, depending on what you call it, right? So, real quick question: when do night end and morning start? Like what time of the day? So,
Honestly, to me, anytime before 6 a.m. is late night.
okay, so that's what I'm saying. So 3 a.m. is that 3 a.m. in the morning or is that 3 a.m. at night? Ah,
I
that's a
mean,
good
if you want to
question.
get technical with it, it's 3 a.m. It's in the morning, but I call that late night.
But that okay.
In
Well,
my
yeah,
mind, it's late night
yeah, that's your late night. Them
because
creeping
it's still
hours,
dark. So
them stroking
shoot.
and poking hours. Just throwing it out there. So the couple are at Brian's apartment. So a 911 call comes in. Kim, she is crying. She says that she and her boyfriend have been both stabbed and she needs help. Kim is telling the operator that he's bleeding and they need to send someone quick. The operator can also hear Brian moaning in the background, begging for help. She's hysterical. He's crying out for help and moaning. And then Brian goes completely silent. And Kim is screaming and hollering for him to wake up. So SharePoint, what is it again?
Shreveport.
Shreveport, man. Look, I know, man. And
Shreveport. You
Shreveport,
like go back. I'm gonna need you to go back to like your hooked on phonics. Like
I
break
know.
it
I need to
down.
get that. I need that little ball to be bouncing on the words to help me out in these streets, man. That's Shreveport, y'all. Shreveport.
Port.
First,
Port.
Port.
Port. It's right there. Port.
Shreveport. First
Jesus.
responders and police get to Brian's apartment quick, fast, and in a hurry. Kim is on the floor and she's covered all in blood, and notably, she's hysterical. Brian is unfortunately gone. Rest in heaven. When the scene is assessed, Brian is lying in a pool of his own blood. He has tons of stab wounds all over the body, and they notice that his throat has been slashed from ear to ear. They call that a Jamaican necktie thing. You know that? You know
Mm-mm.
that? All right. Anyway, okay. I'm just throwing my little. I'm trying to give you little bits of information. Jeez. Anyway,
I didn't say nothing.
yeah,
I
that's the
said,
point. You didn't say nothing. You should have
"What?"
acted like you were more enthused by my, you know what I'm saying, me giving you
Your
that little
random
bit
true
of
crime
information.
fact. I'm so sorry. Put it in a group. They'll celebrate you.
Thank you. All right. Anyway, they said that he also had a deep stab wound at the base of his throat. There were two knives near Brian's body covered in blood. One of the knives, the blade was broken off. And y'all, this the craziest part. It was his own kitchen knife. So he got shaped by his own kitchen knife. The same one he probably thought he'd be cutting Sunday roast with. Instead, he was getting himself carved like a Thanksgiving turkey. He was a main course. Now ain't that to sit twist to dinner at home?
So
I don't know. I don't. That's horrible, man. You guys, that's horrible. So real quick, stuff like that. So if I was a detective, right there, you got stabbed with your own knife. How did they know what a knife was? You know what I'm saying? I start asking all type of questions. But go ahead, my bad. I'm just, go ahead.
we could tell who wasn't paying attention because they said that they went in the kitchen and it was a block and it was two knives missing from the block. See who
I
don't be
know,
paying
no, you're
attention?
missing the point I'm saying. You're missing what I'm saying. Jeez, that's not what I was saying. Just go ahead,
Well,
Detective
now
Lycia.
what you think? So they have the ambulance take Kim to the hospital because she's also been stabbed. And she was stabbed in her right middle part of her abdomen, her lower abdomen. She had a cut on her hands, and she had two cuts on each side. Now, in between hysterics, Kim was able to tell the police some mystery intruder. He broke in, he stabbed her just enough for dramatic effect, and he killed Brian like a murderous Amazon Prime delivery that just shows up unannounced. So sis really thought she was starring in her own bootleg Lifetime special, and the cops were gonna give her an Emmy. Girl, you lied so bad. Lucifer probably started taking notes. Don't worry, he got your VIP suite in hell on standby with your name spelled wrong on the door, courtesy of Willie. So she gets to the hospital and they patch her up real good. And the detectives waste no time getting her down to the station so they can get the real tea on what happened to that good man, Brian. And did I mention he
Mm,
was fine too? Like he was fine. Like
good. About time you said
that could
somebody
have
was
been my
fine and he
husband.
wasn't a killer.
Well, he was fine. He was a good man, Savannah. Like that could have been my husband, but she killed him. See how that went down. That could have been my husband. That might be why I'm single right now.
Oh, because he
So
died.
anyway,
Jeez.
it's a damn shame. So and
I
just
can
like
tell
I
you
said,
some other reason why you single, but we're gonna go with that one right there. Sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead. My bad.
like I said, it's so hard to find a good man because these psycho bitches taking them out left and right. Like it just don't make no sense.
Hmm. Or they shooting people in Las Vegas.
We'll talk about that later.
Okay, I'm sorry. All right, my bad, my bad.
God.
All right, so all right, all right.
He's
So
about to
anyway,
get married anyway.
who he get married?
Kigo, we'll talk about it later. Yep.
Oh my gosh! When she get down to the station, Kim was read her rights and she signed a waiver of said rights. She did ask to call her mom, but they needed to see what information they can get out of her before they start letting her make phone calls. Now, in her initial interview, Kim says that she had gone out club hopping with her friends, and at one of the clubs, Brian just so happened to be there. So it was around 2 a.m. in the morning or in that night, however you want to say it. The two had a agreement that they wouldn't frequent the clubs at the same time if they were out on a date night. That date night? But whatever.
Like they
Okay.
go out on a date. Like you have date night. Don't you ain't never heard of date night?
Oh, okay. I got you. Forget. No, no, no. I got you. I see what you said. No. I would think it like. I, it's one of them days, man. Just go ahead. Just forgive me. Speaking of real quick, I gotta say this. I'm sorry. Remember you said the Lifetime movie. Remember that time that Fantasia
No. I'm sorry.
Fantasia
I wouldn't do
start
that to you.
Fantasia started a Lifetime movie about herself and she still couldn't act. Like, how can't you act? You're playing yourself and you still can't do it right. I thought that was hilarious. Okay, my bad. I'm done. I'm
That was a
done.
good movie though. I liked that movie.
I'm
But
focused. Go ahead.
which probably had everything to do with her being batshit crazy. Because he knew if they ended up in the same club on the same night, it'd go from shots at the bar to shots in the parking lot real quick. So, according to Kim, what happened was she went up to Brian and was like, "Oh my God, bad. I didn't even know you was gonna be here. Please don't be mad at me."
Dang on right that it happened. So after the club, Kim said that she thought it was a good idea to go over Brian's house. She tried to call him, but he didn't answer. So what you think she did? What any respectable woman would do? No, she didn't go home. She went over there unannounced. So of course she pulled right up. When she got there, they got into an argument in the back room. The next thing you know, some crazed man barged into the apartment and just started attacking Brian with a knife, right? So he knew that he came in the apartment, was like, "Excuse me, let me go to the kitchen right quick, grab a knife." Okay, got it, and started stabbing him. She describes the man as a black man with dreads. Kim told the cops she knew the so-called intruder, said his name was just John. Like, girl, if your whole murder alibi hinges on a random man named John, you might as well have just said the boogeyman did it, right? That's what I'm saying. Ain't nobody buying that Dollar Tree fairy tale that you selling.
So this whole story, it sounded crazier than a soap opera on Fast Forward. The cops were not buying what Kim was selling for a second. It was giving clearance rack lives with a designer price tag. Sis thought she was slick, but everybody could see the plot holes from space, okay? So after over an hour of being interviewed, the detectives were like, all right, yeah. So we were able to get some information from your phone, and we heard a message left by Brian. Girl, it ain't even
Mm,
like that.
mm.
And they was like, she started getting a little bit rowdy, and they was like, ma'am, I'm gonna need you to pipe it down a little bit. So I guess she didn't like the one detective she was speaking with and asked if she could speak privately to the other detective that was in the room.
Cheating in the next room. I already talk about men or dogs. I ain't gonna. I'm gonna keep my mouth shut. So, man, soon as that one detective steps out the room, Kim flipped her story faster than the mattress on moving day. Like, dang, at least let the man close the door before you start remixing the lies. And she did the Puff Daddy remix. So look, check this out. This story too, right? So story two was that after she got to the apartment, they argued in the bedroom. And Brian grabbed her by her throat, pinched her hand, and hit a knife on him that he whipped out and he stabbed her in her legs and torso. Then Kim said that she went into the kitchen and she grabbed a knife of her own before they start fighting in the living room. She said that she took the knife from Brian and did what she had to do. When somehow John comes in and he's just finished stabbing Brian.
Like if you could see a look on my face right now, cause
I mean, come on. So you telling me that he just pulled out a knife, stab you, and then you were like, oh, you like stab folks? I got something for you. And then you run to the kitchen, grab a knife, and y'all just having a whole knife fight in the apartment, and you manage to get the knife from him, and then all of a sudden somebody busts in the house like, "Hey, it's time for me to stab somebody," and he starts stabbing people.
My point exactly. Like, ma'am, I don't know what you thought. We gonna just move on. So basically, how it all had went down was earlier that day, John had did a drive-by past her house, right, on January 16th. Now she said she had met John a while back at a club. And he was trying to holler, but Kim like, I got me a man, baby. I got me a good man, Savannah. So she was not interested in John at all. But John was one of those ones who can't take a hint, and he starts stalking Kim. So she says. So when she saw John earlier that day and he was riding past her house, he ain't say nothing to her. He was just lurking. Completely normal. After the club, she wants to feel safe. So she decided it would be best to go to Brian's house. Now, while she and Brian are in the middle of fighting with the knives, John just busts in the door. And Kim was like, this asshole followed me. And I was just like, what the fuck are you doing here? And that was a direct quote. And then John just grabs a knife from her and just starts going in and stabbing Brian over and over and over. And then Kim said like she was in shock and she's just yelling at John, but he wouldn't stop. And then the knife broke. So he got another one and just kept stabbing and stabbing and stabbing. And then she jumped on John, and then John turned the knife on her. So she falls, and she's finally able to get to the phone and dial 911. And when John sees her on the phone, he like stops, and then he just stabs Brian in the neck and then slit his throat. And while Kim is on the phone with 911, that's when she just goes ahead and removes the knife from Brian's neck. That's how it went down. Yep. Yep.
We're not okay. Look, we're not laughing at the victim. No, it's just the
No, we're laughing at this dumbass story that she told because it don't make a lick of fucking sense.
The ignorant story. Exactly. See, y'all done got Tiffany mad. Now she done turned red. You know what I'm saying? Jeez, calm down, girl. Calm down. I know you mad because he's a good man.
I'm big mad. Like this was a fine, good man that you just killed for no reason. Like I said, that could have been my husband for all we know.
I know. Even though y'all live in different states and it was but he would. Y'all like that. You're right. Long distance. Yeah.
He a military man. We could have been. Look how this could have went, right? I could have been on my way to Jamaica, Mexico, wherever I'm on my way to. And he on his way somewhere. And then we link up in the airport and he look at me and then I look at him and I'm like, oh my God, I think that's him. And it's love at first sight. And then that whole scenario. And then we built a whole life. See how that could have went? See, that don't matter.
Oh, that sounds about right to me. I see. I can see it happen. We're going to make a movie. You know what I'm saying? Called Tiffany Got Her Groove Back. Anyway, she dropped that bombshell. Then she lured up quicker than a scammer at a tax audit. Or them scammers that be down in ATL, shorty. This was the end of the interview. Because, once you say I want a lawyer, they can't say nothing else. Well, they're not supposed to. We know that's not always true. And, she finally is able to make that call to her mama.
So they allowed her to make the call to her mom in a detective's office. Now, keep in mind, right there on the phone was a sticker that said, all calls are recorded. Okay? All calls are recorded.
Okay.
Now, Sis gets on the phone with her mama and just start running her mouth. There's a detective that's standing outside the door while she's making this phone call. Now, maybe Sis didn't read the sticker or she thought the sticker was for play. I don't know. But she tells her mom that she told the police that a guy came in and stabbed Brian and then she changed her story and said it was self-defense. So I'm gonna need y'all to picture this in y'all mind. Put this on the front screen of your mind. Kim on his jail phone, calling her mama on that recorded line, trying to explain the 12 different versions of her story. And her mom was on the other end like, girl, is you stupid or is you stupid? Why in God's name did you talk to the detectives without a lawyer? Because let's be for real. Every black mama know you don't even spell your name for the cops without an attorney present.
Amen to that. I'll tell you, look, always have one. So, man, look, they heard that circus of stories and said, yeah, go ahead and cuff her up. You can't call top dog for this. Just letting you know that. No, he only handle accidents and whatnot, not criminal offenses. I found out because I called him. Anyway, they charged Kim with manslaughter so quick you would think they were running a buy one, get one free special at the county jail. But instead it was buy one lie, you get arrested for free. She was indicted on February 25th, 2010. Kim pled not guilty by reason of insanity. She was initially given...
Right?
Yeah, we know. Yeah, that whole crazy. And I don't say that likely. I don't even like, you know what I'm saying, but she is. She was initially given a bond of $200,000, which she was able to post. So that's only what, 20,000? Yeah, that's 10% of that is 20,000, right? So she was able to post to 20,000, which all she had to do was put up a house. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Or if she had 10,000 up to do it. She spent a week in jail. She was scheduled to be evaluated by a state appointed psychiatrist to determine if she would be fit to stand trial. Now, in June 2011, a judge revoked her bail and ordered her back to jail and increased her bail to $2 million after he reviewed the reports of her mental exam, where she refused to cooperate with the two experts the state spent their good, hard-earned taxpayer money on. Now, Kim's defense attorney argued that Kim couldn't communicate with them regarding the events that surrounded the murder. Now, if I was her lawyer, I would be like, "You, bro, you dumb, bro, you is stupid. You got bond and you don't want to cooperate, man. Yeah, yeah, man, increase it." And look, I know when she went back to jail, you know what I'm saying? I guess they got her mind back around right and she started talking, once she went back. But I know imagine, you know what I'm saying, the people, how they feel. All them people that hustled up that money selling them fish dinners and doing it, GoFundMe was not back then. You know what I'm saying? And doing all type of selling this and doing this, doing a little, you know what I'm saying, calling people begging for money. Imagine how they felt. How pissed they was to see that she went back and they lost that money. Because once you post it, you don't get that money back, that 10%. That money gone. So you don't. Now, if you post a whole $200,000, and you get that money back. But if
Oh,
you
so you don't get that back if you only post a 10%?
no, when you get a
Oh.
bail bondsman and you post that 10%, you don't get that money back. That money gone. You know what I'm saying? That's why. So, but if you post a whole bond bail itself, so if she would have gave him $200,000, she'll get that back.
Oh, wow. So basically that money just is gone. Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's gone. Know what I'm saying? Yeah, so she's just gonna be sitting on trial right now because 10% of 2 million is 200,000, and she couldn't afford the $200,000 in the first place. Because trust and believe, she did a bail bondsman. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, I'm sure.
yeah.
Because who got that type of money just sitting around?
No, I don't. So the first specialist, Dr. Richard Williams, said that he couldn't specifically report on her competency because of her lack of cooperation. But he did determine that Kim was not suffering from any mental disease or defect that caused her to be incapable of distinguishing right versus wrong at the time of the Sabbath. And he found no evidence of psychosis either.
The second specialist, Dr. Mark Coleman, said that Kim did not appear to understand proceedings to assist her attorneys, but it was noted that it was premature to comment on her mental condition. Basically, they ended up becoming to the conclusion that she was not fit to stand trial.
Man, let me tell you, if I was on trial for murder and I had to play it off, I'm gonna do I'm drooling, I'm slobbing, I'm doing whatever it take. I'm biting myself to make them think that I'm crazy.
That don't mean nothing. All they did was send her to a forensic psychiatric hospital for 90 days.
Oh,
And yeah, like they're gonna figure get you together unless you're like fully unable to stand trial. They're gonna get you together. You gonna stand that trial at some
oh,
point.
damn. Okay. Well, my
So
brother did that to get Social Security, so
not surprised. So, like we said, she was sent to a psychiatric hospital in East Feliciana Parish for 90 days, and all the experts did agree that she suffered from depression to some degree, but depression is not enough, and I
there
don't
ain't
want to
nothing.
hear no
Hell
bullshit.
no, man. I'll be depressed when I
I'm
see
sure
my
she was.
bank
I mean, I'm
account.
not trying to be funny. I would be depressed too if I was sitting in jail because I committed murder and I'm looking at the rest of my life in jail. So yeah, anybody would be depressed. Whatever. But we do need to back up a little bit and fill in some gaps. So the
Okay.
night of the murder, police had canvassed the neighborhood trying to find any potential witnesses. Unfortunately, there were no actual eyewitnesses. But they did find a neighbor who had been woken up because she heard screaming and yelling, but she was like, my name Bennett, I ain't in it. So that was like a dead end. Next up, they asked the family and friends, and this is where the real tea lives.
Well, yeah, family gonna snitch. You know what I'm saying? Family gonna be like, I ain't want to gossip. You ain't here for me. So the detectives started hitting up friends and families, trying to figure out, what was really going on with Brian and Kim. And let me tell you, everybody said the same thing. Their relationship was a straight up dumpster fire with a side of toxic. I actually got a song that I wrote. about being toxic that we're gonna put at the end of this episode. It's dedicated to Kim. Now, the kind of hot mess that you don't even want to watch from a distance, right? So in the beginning, like we said, the sparks were flying. You know what I'm saying? We told you them bad boys were flying like the 4th of July, sparks I mean, they was hot and heavy. And they both thought they found their forever in each other. But you know how that go. When the honeymoon phase is over and you start to get to know the real person, because you do realize that half of the time that people you are dating your representative. And then you start to see the real thing and it gets real. Brian starts telling his friends and family how insecure Kim was, how obsessive she can be. The jealousy was just out of hand. He would wake up in the middle of the night to use the bathroom, and Kim would be up wide awake scrolling through the phone. She just swore he was cheating. And the crazy part about it is, this is the crazy part, right? Nothing that we can find says that he was cheating, right? Nothing. And you know what I'm saying? Like, it'll say nothing. That's crazy.
I told y'all he was a good man. Good man. Court docs don't lie. Now, Fatal Attraction, them other shows will have you thinking the victim is perfect and can do no wrong, but the court docs tell the truth, nothing but the truth. And if he was cheating, we really would have found it.
True. So Brian, he didn't even have time to cheat. Why? Because in addition to working, being a father, remember he had 2 kids, he was also in college working on his degree. Damn, he really was a good dude. Lord. Kim was putting the pressure on Brian to get married. She was the true definition of pop-up princess, which Tiffany still holds that title.
I
Whenever
ain't nobody pop up on.
First of all, if we can go back on episodes, and you said that you were the pop-up princess. You said it yourself.
I said back in the day, like I was like,
Well, you still hold the title, and I mean, just because you ain't got no man.
I'm retired.
Oh, you said I'm tired, boss.
I'm retired. Like, first of all, I don't even argue with nobody, so let alone pop up. I was doing what the hell.
Hey, look, if I got to pop out, I'm just gonna drop out. If I got to pop up, I'm just gonna drop out.
Yeah,
I feel you. So look, whenever Brian was, like I said, she'd pop up. She would just make it her business to pop up just to make sure he wasn't with another chick. According to Brian's friends, what really happened the night before he was murdered, when Kim said she, quote unquote, accidentally showed up at the same club Brian was out at with his friends. Yeah, Kim pulled up and she saw Brian dancing with a chick. Oh.
And before y'all start getting y'all panties in a bunch, I need y'all to keep calm. I said he was a good man. Not too much on my
good man.
This wasn't some random chick, and they wasn't on the dance floor grinding the R. Kelly Seems Like You Ready. It was one of his best friend's girlfriend. His friend was literally standing right there, and they hit a quick 2-step. That's it. That's all. Right? Okay. But Kim, she didn't give a damn about none of that. Soon as she saw some chick anywhere near Brian, it was like a bull seeing red. All she saw was enemy, and it was go time. Girl was ready to throw hands over a 2-step. Witnesses said that when she walked up on Brian, she threatened him and literally said, quote, "I'ma whoop your ass." Oh, girl. For Brian, he like, you know what? This is it. I'm done. It's just too much.
Too much.
This chick was disturbing his peace like none other. He was just done. So he ended up leaving the bar, I'm sure, because he was annoyed, and that messed up the vibe for the evening. On his way home, he calls Kim to formally end their relationship, but Kim didn't answer the phone, so he left her a voicemail letting her know it was over.
Beep. Yeah, just give you a call, let you know, man, that shit that you pulled earlier, never again, man. Kit Ralph with flip-flops and no socks. Be blessed. Anyway, all right, now that we all caught up, let's get back to the circus of a trial. Kim was found incompetent to stand trial on April 4th, 2011. So they shipped her off to the forensic psych hospital. And by the time she popped back up in court on November 2nd, 2011, they had her med balance enough to sit there and, without drooling on herself. Sis finally pulled it together just in time to face the music. Trial was scheduled to start on April 23rd, 2012. While waiting on her trial date, Kim's defense team filed several motions to suppress her statement to the police. The one that was the one when she made it, and also the recorded phone call that she made to her mom on the grounds that she was in a state of shock and that the statements were not freely and voluntarily given. That motion was heard and it was denied by the courts.
Trial begins April 23rd, 2012 as scheduled. So there's a whole lot of folks who testified. There was a 911 dispatcher that Kim was on the line crying and putting on her little act while Brian could be heard moaning and begging for help in the background. Then when everything went silent, because that's when Kim straight up slit his throat and stabbed him to shut him up for good. She wasn't trying to survive. She was making sure he couldn't tell the truth if he tried. Detective Bowen, one of the original detectives that interviewed Kim when she first was brought in, testified that Kim was brought to the station. She was read her rights. He said that eventually, during the initial conversation, Kim told him that she understood and agreed to waive those rights and made a statement to him. And she signed a waiver for it all. He also asked her if she was on drugs or if she had been drinking that night. Kim said that she had drank a Long Island, but she was not intoxicated. Now, when questioning Kim, Detective Bowen noticed that she was overall calm, but when he asked her questions related to Brian breaking up with her, he said, quote, she turned to him with an angry look as if I had struck a nerve. And when he told her that he would be charging her with murder because Brian was dead, she got mad and started cussing and speaking about the mystery man, John, which Detective Bowen said he didn't believe from the get-go. So
Exactly. So Agent Jeffrey Dunko of the Air Force Special Investigating Unit testified as he was at the interview on the morning after the murder, since Brian was in the Air Force. He testified. I'm sorry about that. He testified that no one that okay, let me start over. I'm sorry. Jeez. Agent Jeffrey Dunkel of the Air Force Special Investigation Unit testified as he was at the interview on the morning after the murder, since Brian was in the Air Force. He testified that no one that was in the room threatened or harassed Kim. When she kept asking to call her mom, Detective Bowen informed her that she would be able to call after they finished the interview. The prosecution showed the jury crime scene pictures and video just so they can have a picture of how the scene looked. They were also informed that those cuts that Kim had said came from Brian or John, depending on which version of the story that you want to go with. But those wounds were self inflicted. Furthermore, Brian had been stabbed 64 times. That is horrible. Like, I'm not being funny. Like, you got to be in shape to stab that many times.
or your adrenaline is popping. And on top of that, 64 times, no random person's gonna break in and stab you that many times. They're gonna, like, honestly, they're gonna get in and get out. Like, if they're trying to rob you, whatever situation is, but that is literally a crime of passion.
Man,
You did
yes. I
you
mean,
did
because
that
I the
shit.
seventh, eighth time, like, I'm done. I ain't gonna like, just 45, 46, 46. Good Lord, man. Whew. Anyway, go ahead.
So since the insanity plea didn't work, Kim's defense had to come up with a new strategy. And they went with the self-defense angle. So Kim's defense team, they tried to argue that Kim was abused and she was suffering from battered wife syndrome. The murder ended up being a result of PTSD from the alleged abuse. Let them tell it. Kim herself, she took the stand as well. She said that on the night she was at the club and then pulled to Brian's apartment afterwards, he told her, quote, I told you not to go to the club. You should listen to me. And then he started choking her in the bedroom. She claimed that the relationship had turned abusive, and Brian had left the room to get a knife from the kitchen, and they started fighting, and that Brian stabbed her in the sides and the leg. So she went in the kitchen and grabbed her own knife. They ended up in the living room, and she defended herself by stabbing Brian back because she feared he was going to kill her. Now, again, if you recall, this is a different story from the other two she told before. This raggedy
Well,
bitch.
that's what. How many stories is that now? That's the fourth
Three.
one.
Oh, shoot. I don't know. I don't lost count at this point.
Mm.
Well, her raggedy ass up on that stand, spun another fairy tale, swearing that Brian stabbed her like he was some horror villain, completely dropping her imaginary homeboy John like he was last season's wig. Meanwhile, the prosecution had already told the jury that her cuts were self-inflicted as her pathetic life choices. Ma'am, please. We don't believe you. You need more people, a new personality, and a shred of shame because these busted ass lies wouldn't even fool a blind dog.
Mm. Some blind dog. After it was all said and done, the jury went out and they did what the juries do. And they came back with an anonymous and unanimous guilty verdict of
It
second degree
wasn't. It
murder.
wasn't anonymous. You
I,
can see
if,
the jury pool. You just.
no,
Oh, I'm
it
sorry.
was
You was trying to clean that up. My bad.
God damn, Tiffany, come on, dog. Anyway, a second-degree murder. Now, here's the best part. In Louisiana, second-degree murder comes with a guaranteed ticket to life at hard labor. No parole, no probation, no chance to finesse your way out. She basically signed up for the permanent prison housing the moment she picked up that knife. Kim really thought she could remiss her lives like a broke down DJ and stroll out free, but Louisiana said no, not today, not today. After it was all said and done, the jury went out and they did what juries do, and they came back with a unanimous guilty verdict of second degree murder. Now, here's the best part, right? In Louisiana, second degree murder comes with a guaranteed ticket to life at hard labor. No parole, no probation, no chance to finesse your way out. She basically signed up for the permanent prison housing the moment she picked up that knife. Kim really thought that she could remiss her lives like a broke down DJ and stroll out free, but Louisiana said not today, Satan, or in this case, Kim. Now she got a lifetime supply of
That's
county
different.
issued, right? It's county issued toothpaste and a metal toilet with her name on it. Enjoy rotting in hell, girl, because that's what it feels like. You earn every single second, minute, and hour of that life sentence. And they say Louisiana ain't no joke. You see them 12 dudes broke out, man. The one dude they still can't catch. They just caught my boy Anton. Wait, Anton? Ain't his name? Anton?
Antoine. You can call
Yeah,
him by any
whatever.
name but his name.
Yeah, whatever. But they caught him. You know what I'm saying? They ain't catch the one tall dude, man. Look, man, I'm rooting for him, man. But they say Louisiana jails ain't no joke. It's hot and ain't got no AC.
Now, child, when that guilty verdict dropped, Kim started cutting up like somebody told her Fashion Nova went bankrupt. Sis was hollering, flopping around, putting on the biggest performance since her 911 call. Ma'am, did you really think acting a fool was going to change your life sentence? The only thing you changed was the level of secondhand embarrassment I got from watching you fall apart.
Mm.
Just embarrassing. So she was formally sentenced on July 11, 2012. And of course, Kim got on the good foot and filed her appeal in July of 2013. She said that the court should have excluded both her statement to her mother and to the police because it was not freely and voluntarily given, and her right to privacy was violated by her omission of her statement to her mother.
Mm. They had addressed this when she originally brought it up. You signed a waiver.
Then she said during her interrogation, detectives and others were engaging in overreaching conduct, including the use of duress, use of fear, intimidation, threats, and inducement and promises.
Well, let me go ahead and X that out because the special sergeant from the Air Force already had testified that none of this happened during the interview. Next.
Factor her initial refusal to sign a waiver form, the charge of murder, lack of sleep, hysteria, and her constant request to speak with her mother made her give in and go ahead and sign the waiver, and the statements were involuntary and inadmissible.
Excuse me, no. That weekend story ain't it. What else you got? Cause that right there wouldn't convince a Tyler to eat candy girl.
The statements made to her mother were inadmissible because she possessed a reasonable expectation of privacy in the detective's office as she was left there alone and did not know the call was being monitored.
Man, Kim was on that phone flapping her gums like she was at Sunday brunch, completely ignoring the giant sign screaming, "These calls are being monitored." How you gonna catch a murder charge but can't read a damn warning label taped right in front of your face? That's next level stupidity. Jeez, I can't even. I'm fumbling with the word because like you couldn't even come up with nothing better than that. like literally, it is a big sign. I know you never had to privilege of being put in the holding cell, but I'm telling you, the sign is as big, it's clear as day. It lets you know. It's no way you can miss it.
I have nothing to say about her. So, long story short, the court wasn't trying to hear none of her nonsense. Her sentence got affirmed, and now she's locked up for life with the Louisiana Department of Corrections. No parole, no early outs, nothing. She'll be released the day she takes that final elevator ride straight to glory. Hell. Until then, enjoy that concrete bed, Kim.
And that metal toilet. And that, y'all, was the Twitter tale of Kim Coleman, a lion, bat stabbing, throat slashing demon who deserves every minute of that life sentence. In the story of a good man, Brian Spinks, who didn't deserve a single bit of this mess. Rest in heaven, Brian, man. That's horrible. Horrible story. With that being said, we're going to go ahead and go to our favorite segment called
Love, Lies, and Alibis.
All right, here we go. What we got?
Okay, this week's Love, Lies, and Alibis question of the week was: if your partner's ex dies and they want to go to the funeral, can they go? And are you going with them? And y'all had a lot to say this week. We got a lot of comments this week.
All right,
You want to take the
me?
first one?
Yeah, I'm good with that. I mean,
Okay.
like if y'all had a good relate, like especially if it's like the father of your children or something like that, I wouldn't have a problem with you going to the funeral. If you know what I'm saying, yeah, I wouldn't have a problem with that. Yeah, like I don't see that being an issue. You know what I'm saying? Now, if it's a situation we at the funeral and you up in there, you know what I'm saying, don't take me with you and throwing yourself in a casket, then maybe I'm
On the
gonna
Jada of
reconsider.
Kingdom Come.
Yeah, like Jada on Kingdom Come,
Lord, just take me now. I was like,
I'm gonna start side eyeing you. But no, I wouldn't. I definitely wouldn't have a problem with that. I mean, yeah, I don't. Yeah, I wouldn't have a problem with that. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nothing wrong with people getting along. What about you?
I don't care what you know me. I really don't give a damn what you do for real. I mean, they did what, I'm like, what? They're dead. It's that's the final. I mean, like sometimes you just want to go pay your respects. I mean, I personally probably wouldn't go with you just off the fact that I don't care for funerals. I'll meet you at the repast and I'll eat with you.
Man,
But
come
I
on, talk
don't.
about that repast food. I
Yeah,
forgot about
but
that.
I am not a fan of funerals. Like I can literally count on one hand how many funerals I've been to in my entire life. I don't like funerals and I really do avoid them at all costs. I
I'm
don't
not.
absolutely have
Yeah.
to go. I
Mhm.
don't go.
No, I feel you. I don't like funerals either, man. I don't. But yeah, you know me. I love
Okay,
the
so
repast.
let's see what y'all had to say. Like I said, we're gonna have to scroll through here because y'all had a lot to say this week. So since you called out Cuzzo, Crystal said, please do go, especially if they were together for a while. I would decline the invitation if asked. However, I'll be in the car waiting if you need me. I've been in this situation twice with my ex. His ex called and said she was diagnosed with lupus and she wanted to talk to him. As a woman, I said, go. You were her first. She trusts you. You probably just need someone to talk to. They never stopped, quote, talking after that. Fast forward years later, I'm the ex. Oh, damn. His
Damn.
mother passed, and I have his children, so of course I offered help and assistance with the funeral. Guess who showed up? That other ex. I politely started walking her way, and she saw me coming and exited the room.
Mm.
Yeah, because I told her when I catch her again, it's on site. And what better place than a funeral home?
Man, that's why I love my
Cuz
cousin
they
Crystal.
ready.
Crystal. That's why I love. That's
She,
why
she
I
be
love
on.
with Crystal.
She
Yes.
stay on go.
I love it. I love it. So Roy Daniels said, "Man, hell no. If they go, y'all gonna have another case to cover." Just kidding. He
Okay.
said, "No." He said he ain't having it. I feel you, right? Look, I feel it. All right. Who else we got?
So Petrus says, my ex died, and as much as I wanted to go, I didn't. He's also my only ex. My husband is ignorant. I didn't even mention his death to him. I should have gone. I would have let him go and accompany him if he had asked.
Okay, Lyric Thompson. My man wouldn't want to go to his ex funeral, but if they were cool, I wouldn't care. I'd even go with him if he wanted me to support. Lyric, that's what I'm talking about. Good stuff.
Okay, so Janelle says they can do what they want, but be prepared for the consequences.
Ooh. Ebony DeBow, man, here we go with this. See, let me, Ebony.
If you just read the first name, then you wouldn't be
No,
struggling
no,
so
forget that, Ebony. Let me tell you something right now, man. All right,
Oh my
this,
God.
this, just stick with just Ebony. You ain't got to put all that fancy stuff in there. DeBow, we don't need Debo. Are is it Debo? Ebony Debo? Are you calling yourself Debo, Ebony? Anyway, Ebony said they can
Oh
definitely go. It's about who all loved and cared about that person when they were alive. Who am I to stop that person? Funny story. Last year I had a death scare and they didn't think I was gonna make it. Oh shit. And I said, I'm sorry, Ebony, I apologize for that. I do. I
see,
know, yeah, I know. I said all that stuff. She had a death scare. You know what I'm saying? All right, I'm sorry about that. And they didn't think I was gonna make it. My ex showed up to the hospital and her and my wife fought in the room while I was in a coma. First of all, you a freak because she said her y'all just you a freak, and the fact they fought in the room over the coma. I hope they recorded that, and I pray that you are doing okay. Right now and everything. And if you would like to talk about why you had a death scare, you can always let us know. That's scary though. Imagine you waking up out of a coma and you finding out that your ex and your wife was in there fighting. That's
Wild.
crazy. Yeah, we
Very.
gotta interview you. Yeah, Ebony, we gonna interview you, man. DM us. All right, go ahead.
So last one we'll do a Shay says yes they can go, and if they wanted me to go and it would not cause any issues, I would go.
Okay, no, we gotta do one more. Shanton. No, man, hold on. Shanton Janice. I think of Janice. J Nice.
Shatan. She done told you that 8
Oh,
times.
that's right.
Shatan.
That's black. Chocolate Thunder, right? Or Sensual Chocolate. I think that's
I
what
can't
it
keep
is.
up with all the nicknames. Just
Yeah.
listen.
All right. Well, I think it's Sensual Chocolate. Whatever. Chocolate. Whatever. They can absolutely go. I got to be insecure than a mother sucker to have a problem with someone who is not even alive. And no, I'm not going. I'm cool on funerals. I get that part. You do got to be a very insecure person to get mad because a person want to go to somebody who dead funeral. But then again, if you acting a plumb fool, you know what I'm saying, and talk about take me with you, and you flipping out and you crying louder than anybody else, we gonna have an issue because I'm gonna be side eyeing you. I'm gonna let you know that now. Anyway, that's the end of Love Lies and Alibis. Now you do know. Anyway, that was Love Lies and Alibis. Now you do know that we drop our questions every Tuesday. Please feel free to leave a comment. Why? Because we love interaction. The second, we'll read it, and I will end up messing up your name unless you give me a nickname you want me to call you. Now, in order for you to see these questions, you got to join our Facebook page, which is Love Lies and Alibis. We a family. We rock out. You just got to answer 3 questions. Very simple questions. All right. Very simple questions. And if you listen to the show, you know the answer to these questions. Right. You know, if you listen to this one, you would definitely know the answer to the questions. And that's it. All right. Go ahead. You can read the comments.
Okay, so a couple comments from last week's episode, which was the episode of Ricardo Hart. You know, I still don't mess with that man. And Michelle Pearson. So we have Kiera says, it's Kiera Bailey 1D. The parole hearing was on my birthday, Tiff. Y'all know how I feel about being called Tiff, but I'm gonna let it slide.
Oh yeah, you can't call her Tiff. You got to call her Tiffany. She cussed me out for calling her Tiff.
Stop saying I cuss you out. I don't ever cuss at you, so stop it.
Stop right there, please, because I can show text messages debunking what you just said. So don't even say that.
I cuss in a sentence, I don't mean I'm cussing at you.
Who are you talking to then? If you're cussing, who are you? You're talking to me, so that means you're cussing at me.
No, it does not, because if we're having a conversation and I just happen to cuss while we're having a conversation, doesn't mean I'm cussing at you.
Okay, I'm going. I ain't about to even do this right now because you ain't. Go ahead.
So anyway, like I said, Kiera Bailey 1D said the parole hearing was on my birthday. Pisces season, we sister signs. It was written in the stars. Unfortunately, see, we don't mess with niggas named Ricardo. And then Mimi said, oh no, Willie, you were right. Some people really don't know my husband and I are 42, been together since 8th grade, and we are just not getting in therapy and realizing how much I needed him to be emotionally available and how horrible he is at it. But shit, I'm over that shit now. We need to work on some other shit in therapy. Just joking, but I did build a huge wall to protect myself. So now we are in therapy. My life is a Lifetime movie, y'all, and we want to hear about that, ma'am. So
hit us up, man. And let me tell y'all, man. Therapy good, man. Tiffany told me I need to go to therapy, and I've been going. How many months I've been going now?
Well, I did say you need to go to therapy.
You did tell me. I've been going. I've been faithfully going.
It's like a month and a half. Okay, so
Damn,
one more. Big Mix says Nancy Williams, singer, is black. And she said, I don't trust any black name named Ricardo, Louis, Carlos, Juan, etc. Sis, I'm with you.
Hey, man, let me tell you. That is so true. Any name that doesn't go with the color, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I wouldn't trust a white dude named Jerome. You know what I'm saying? It just don't make no sense. So why would I trust a black dude named Ricardo or Juan?
That man, yeah.
All right, man. Yeah, you had
Niggas named
2
Ricardo.
episodes that made you mad. Ricardo made you mad, and now Kim made you
This Kim
mad,
Hard
man.
possibly killed my potential husband. He was a good man. You know them hard to come by these days. A good man is very hard to come by
Shit, who
these
you
days. But
telling? I
y'all
know.
taking them out damn left and right.
I we get you.
Deplorable. So okay, so let's move on and let's talk. If you see this way, y'all need to come over and join Love Lies and Alibis. Y'all get all the tea before we spill it here. So we
Oh,
told
yeah,
y'all
we
on our
did
very
spill something,
last
didn't we?
episode that we are going to do a live show and it's going to be virtual because we want everybody to come and kick it with us and y'all can see everything in real time, all the stumbles, because child, we be stumbling over here sometime, all the little takeouts, you get to see it all in real time. We're gonna have everything's gonna be interactive, so Love Lies and Alibis, you'll be able to comment in real time. And I decided we're going to have a very, 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 very small live audience. So if you are in Cleveland or you want to come kick it with us, you will be able to. And we got a website now. So if you head over to melaninmysteries.com, we are live and you can get your tickets over there. Tickets start at just $15. We know times is hard. We got y'all back. And there is also a $5 off coupon for any show. There are only 4 slots left. The group snatched them up. Sorry, y'all. That's why you need to be over at Love Lies and Alibis so you get the
Yep,
tea
you get
first.
all this stuff, and you get to see my beautiful face when we doing our lives. Sorry.
Ain't nobody coming to see you, Otis.
Mm.
So, like I said, if y'all want to come kick with us in person, there is a $5 off coupon on there. So there's 3 tiers. There's a $15 tier for just a virtual ticket. I believe it's $35 if you want a VIP virtual ticket, and you will be getting an exclusive. It will never ever be reproduced shirt from us that will never ever be reproduced. So if you want it, hop on it. You'll have a shirt. You'll also get you're gonna have a whole little gift bag that I'm gonna send you. I'm so excited. Um, and that one's 35. And then the in-person show is, what is it? Is it 30? I think it's 30. Okay, yes. And if you want to be in person, the price is $30. Like I said, there are 4 slots left for a $5 off coupon. Make sure you use the code CRACK, CRACK, at checkout, and it will and you will get $5 off of your total. And like I said, the in-person seats are very, very, very limited. I really want it to be very intimate, and I want y'all to have fun. Like I said, Love Lies and Alibis is going to be interactive, so you will get to come up and answer the questions live, and we will also be reading the questions from the live viewers as well. And you get to chime in. Like, it's gonna be so much fun, and I'm so excited. So the date is August the 2nd. It's gonna be at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I know people are on the West Coast, so I made it a little bit later so y'all can tune in as well. But yeah, head on over to melaninmysteries.com and grab your tickets. And then we also have our 1-year anniversary is on July the 12th. I know we got a lot going on, don't we?
I know,
Um,
right? And that's the reason why I'm broke.
I'm gonna tell you about that. So anywho, yes, July 12th is a free event, free food. We have vendors. Let's say just pop up on the location. Everything is all on our socials. We hope to see you there. But the live show is going to be so dope. Like, I'm putting things in place. We got a venue. Yeah, it is really gonna be dope. Like, I'm putting everything I got into it. Like, we actually got a team to help us put it together, and I'm so excited. Like, it's gonna be real professional and whatnot. So I said, go ahead and get y'all tickets. Use that $5 off code because there's only 4 slots left. Come kick it with us over at Love Lies and Alibis too, so you can find out things before everybody else find out.
That's what I'm saying, man. We be dropping a lot of and then every once in a while we be having a random story time. We ain't did that in a while.
Mm-mm.
I should tell the story about what really happened.
I don't even know what you're talking about. But anyway, move on, because I don't even know what's random story time you talking
I'll
about. But
tell
we'll
you.
do
Go
a
ahead.
story time this week.
All right. We were doing. All right, what else? What else we got?
If you recall, way back when we had a special guest on episode 11, that was the wrongful conviction of Isaiah Andrews, and we had my big brother Ricky Jackson on that episode, and he spoke with us a little bit about his journey and 39 years incarcerated for a wrongful conviction. My big brother actually dropped a movie, y'all. It is on Amazon Prime. Go check it out. It's called Lovely Jackson. It is a dope movie. Like, it is so deep and you're gonna cry. I'm telling you now, it's very emotional, but go check it out. It's on Amazon Prime. That is my big brother. And if you're gonna be at the our 1 year anniversary picnic in July, or yeah, July is tomorrow, 3 days, 2 days. If you're gonna be there, he will be there. He is so cool. Like, you will love him to death. So go check that out on Amazon Prime. And I almost forgot, July 1st is 1 full year of Melanin Mysteries. And we just want to thank y'all for everything, for rocking with us. This just started off as an idea, and we're just so excited that y'all actually enjoy us. We're having fun with y'all. We're having fun with each other, and we just want to really say thank you. And all of our events coming up, make sure you tap in so you can celebrate with us. Thank you for tuning into the shenanigans for a whole year.
Shout out to BTCC, man. We got our Melanin Mayhem with Renee. We got Not My Brother's Keeper with my boy.
Antoine.
I know, and I would wait. You got to throw in something. I know that's his name. Jeez. We got a sip of red rum with
Brittany
say
and
Brittany and
Deja.
yes, jeez. And then you got us.
And
Dang.
we are the Black True Crime Collective. You can follow us on Instagram at B_T_C_C. And then the Black True Crime. Oh, wait, no, the BTCC, the Black True Crime Collective. We have a Facebook group as well. We also have an announcement coming up here shortly. Yeah, so that's all I got.
Yeah, that's it. All right, well, go ahead and close us out because you know what's gonna happen soon if we end it. You're gonna, oh my God, I forgot to say this. So this
Yeah,
go ahead.
well, they'll
Yep,
catch you
it is
next
what
week.
it is. All right.
So just remember that love should never come with a life sentence. So make sure you choose freedom and not
Yep,
felonies.
and we out. All right, y'all. That's it for this week's episode of Melanin Mystery. Now, if you want to keep up with us, we're on Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook. Just search Melanin Mystery Podcast and hit that follow button. Now, if you want to take it a step further and get in on the behind the scenes tea, pull up to our private Facebook group called Love, Lies, and Alibis. But listen, do us all a favor. Answer the entry questions. If not, we will deny you. Faster than a broke dude in the DM. Y'all know y'all how that go. Got a small business and looking to grow? We got limited spots for promos and partnerships. Just email us at podcast@melaninmystery.com before the inbox fills up. And last but not least, if you enjoyed the show, drop us a 5-star review or leave a comment. It helps more folks find us. And trust me, your boy trying to quit his day job eventually, so help a brother out, please. And we'll see y'all next time. Same mystery, same mess.